next speaker will be representing the Chamber as the Chair of the Chamber's Government and Community Affairs Committee, Paul Davis.
Thank you very much, Hugh, and good morning to everybody. I'm very honored to be the new chair of the Government Community Affairs Committee for the Chamber. And I first and foremost want to thank our legislators. Having been in your shoes for 12 years, I know firsthand the sacrifices that all of you make, and we're very appreciative of everything that you do for our community. And we know that this is going to be, not necessarily because of the issues, but because of the environment, one of the most challenging sessions that you have ahead of you. And we wish you all the best, and we want you to know how grateful we are for your service. The Chamber spends a lot of time developing these legislative priorities. We have numerous committees that look at this, our board looks at this, and we try to get as much input from our membership as we possibly can. And I hope that all of you will take some time and look through this document because there's a lot of very good information here about what our priorities are. And I'm going to just try to hit some of the highlights of those priorities and not talk for longer than I probably should and longer than I usually did when I was in the legislature at this breakfast. But our bread and butter is economic development. We are trying to grow our local economy, to create jobs and help our businesses prosper. And there are a number of state programs that are really essential to that mission. The HPIP program, PEAK program, and some of the other incentives are things that Steve Kelly and our economic development professionals vitally need in order to fill their mission. One of the things the Chamber is very supportive of is the Department of Commerce's effort to develop a new statewide economic development plan. This has been an initiative of Governor Kelly and Secretary Toland, and we are very supportive of that effort. Speaking of the Department of Commerce, one of our priorities also is to move the Division of Travel and Tourism back into the Department of Commerce. As many of you know, that was where it was housed for many years. It was moved over to Wildlife and Parks, and we believe that its natural home is really in the Department of Commerce. One of the other things I want to mention under economic development that I think is important for Lawrence is we used to have the Kansas Bioscience Authority, which allowed us to really utilize the natural talents that we have in the business community here in Lawrence and at the University of Kansas to be able to help grow our bioscience economic capabilities. And we lost that, and we're hoping that we can gain that back in some form. And I hope that's something that you will take a look at here in the future. Under the heading of education and workforce readiness, there is a major issue that I think that most of you are aware of is the legislation that authorizes the Douglas County Commission to call for an election to establish a special taxing district to support Peaslee Tech. This is a very important issue to the Chamber. Hugh and many other people at the Chamber have spent a lot of time and effort trying to make sure that Peaslee Tech is going to be successful. And this is something that is really vital to the long-term financial stability of Peaslee Tech, and we hope it's something that we can get accomplished this legislative session. Another initiative that's important to Lawrence and is important to the University of Kansas is the extension of the University Engineering Initiative Act. This was something that was created, I think, about 10 years ago, and it is up for renewal. It has allowed the University of Kansas and other Regents institutions to be able to expand their engineering schools and to be able to train more engineers, and it's something that the Chamber is very strongly supportive. Speaking of the university, one of the things that we want to see is the university's appropriations restored to their pre-pandemic levels. It's no secret that the university has a lot of financial challenges right now, and we know that the University of Kansas is the major economic development driver in this community and throughout the state, and we appreciate your efforts to help restore those appropriation levels. We need to have a lot of collaboration between all of our educational stakeholders in the area of workforce training. You talk to any person that owns a business and they will tell you that workforce training is such a major issue, and whatever we can do in that area is going to be very much appreciated by business owners. We also want to see compliance with the Kansas Supreme Court's ruling on public school funding. That's something that's very critical to the school district here. In the area of taxation, the Chamber has always supported a balanced and stable tax structure. Many of you are aware of the three-legged stool that was established by Tony Redwood and Chuck Crider many, many years ago, and I think has served the state very, very well. And we want to make sure as we look at that, we also have a very competitive pro-business tax structure. One of the things that's important to a lot of Main Street businesses is that we have a fair and consistent process for the collection of sales tax on goods purchased through the internet, so that our businesses on Massachusetts Street can compete with the Amazons of the world. There are several things in the tax area that we have opposed traditionally. Sales tax on professional services, an increase in the state sales tax, and also asking employers to do more than what they've already done, which is significant in terms of unemployment withholdings. COVID recovery is a new area, obviously, on our priorities, and hopefully one that will not be there next year. We want to see the governor's emergency powers extended. That was done the other day, I think, through the end of January, but further extensions may be necessary, and that's going to be important. In the area of our CARES Act monies, we want to be able to continue to have the ability to reimburse hospitals and other community health providers for their significant costs, and also see expanded broadband coverage, which is something that's happening already, and we want to continue to be able to see. In the area of healthcare, expansion of Medicaid continues to be a big priority for the Chamber. We know what that means for Lawrence Memorial Hospital and many other healthcare providers. We'd also like to see an increase in Medicaid rates to ensure that our healthcare providers are being adequately compensated for their services. Bert Nash is an important part of our community and has taken a lot of financial hits over the years. And one of the priorities we have is to see that their level of funding be restored to 2007 levels, 14 years ago, hard to believe. In the area of transportation and infrastructure, we applaud your efforts to pass a new comprehensive transportation plan. The Eisenhower Legacy IKE program is significant for the state, and it's significant for Lawrence. It's going to allow us to hopefully complete the western extension of the South Lawrence Traffic Way. And one of the things that I think is going to be critically important as we go forward is that we continue to provide the funding structure for the state transportation plan, and we quote, close the bank of KDOT, as Governor Kelly has talked about. In the area of legal reform, the Chamber is very committed to criminal justice reform. This is something that hasn't always been on our agenda, but it's something that is important to the Chamber. We want to be able to reduce prison populations, address the racial disparity that we have in our prison system, and make sure that people who are coming out of that system have the ability to re-enter the workforce. We want to make sure that our court system is adequately funded. And as a result of the decision that came from the Supreme Court several years ago, we want to make sure that we see a cap on economic damages restored by the legislature. Our last section is energy. We see energy as a key ingredient of economic development. We want to be able to continue to grow the renewable energy industry here in Lawrence. We want to be able to see increased investments in energy efficiency that can help our business owners. And we'd like to see a comprehensive long-term state energy plan, which is one of the things I know that Governor Kelly is committed to. And lastly, electric rates has been a topic of discussion at the legislature, and we want to make sure that our business owners are being treated fair and equitably as we look at how electric rates are being allocated. So thank you very much for the time this morning, and thank you for your service. And I hope that you will look to the Chamber as a resource as you make very important decisions in this legislative session.